I want to invite you to a different way of goal setting. The standard way that I had initially set goals of mine was I simply would just look up to someone that I admired online and I would just say, I'm going to go do that, right? And that was great to a degree. However, what that also does is that it pretty much guarantees that you're going to live their life without really much consideration of the things you truly value in your life and the differences between actually you and that person. Typically, we have a couple traits from mentors and people that we admire that we want to develop. However, we model pretty much every way of their life that they are living, even if it's not necessarily meant for us, or even if there are other areas of their life that they're kind of lagging in, and you just take it as acceptable because you just admire the person so much because they have something that you really value. And I made this mistake when I was young. So pretty much initially I really wanted to get in shape. I really wanted to transform my body. So I had mentors that I did that with. I then ended up becoming a personal trainer. I did that for 7 years. At that point, I started learning sales for my business to take it to another level, and then started coaching it for a friend of mine for 2 to 3 years. And now I've obviously stepped more into personal transformation as well, helping people on a personal level. And what I had done was I had initially built my business using like a certain model that some of the mentors who I admired and respected used. However, as I was scaling the business model, what I found was that it wasn't giving me the lifestyle that I actually said I wanted getting into it. I really valued freedom. I really valued being able to travel around and move and, have that freedom. And it gave me some of it, but in many ways, the way that I was suggested to scale the business even further took a lot of that away. And I understand there's always a time and a place, but if you pretty much look at the big picture for whatever it is that you do, whether it's a business model and so on and so forth, you can pretty much future pace where it's going to take you. So here I was building a business that wasn't going to give me the lifestyle I wanted, but because I truly valued money at that time and status and just pretty much saying that I did that without being conscious of it, I had compromised some of my core values of connection and also freedom of lifestyle amongst that process. And I started wondering why I was losing touch, with many things important to me, and I felt quite empty inside. It's because I spent most of my time sitting behind a computer. And that's when I had an epiphany, which was hearing the advice such as the following, which is if you can model your business or your goals off of someone who shares the same values as you, then you can pretty much model a life that aligns with your values, right? Because you're finding not only a mentor who has a result in an area that you want to improve, but they have the same values as you. So if they value freedom and they built their business in a way that allowed them to still have that freedom and it's something you value, then you would obviously benefit from that. And that was the pivotal mistake that I initially made, was not really asking the question, what does this person actually value and how have they developed their business and lifestyle around that? And is that something compatible with mine? You see, when you're young, you don't really have much, respect for yourself. In many cases, you don't really take your word and your opinion over others. At least I didn't. I didn't have as strong of a self-esteem. And it's pretty easy to just disregard what you want and say, well, screw it. They've got this. I'll pretty much model everything. But over time, as you get older, you start realizing you're like, well, no, it's my life by my design. So how would I actually prefer to do this? And what would that look like? And that's what I would advise for you, which is take a moment and write down the most important values of yours that are non-negotiable, in regards to how you want to build the foundation of your life on top of. For example, if it's connection, if it's freedom, if it's adventure, abundance, you start getting clear on what those things are so you can design your life in a way and build upon your goals in a way to where you're ticking as many of those boxes as possible in, as fewer amount of goals as possible. For example, my business, I can travel, freedom of location, I can create a sense of purpose and impact. Part of my business, I stay in shape, I stay healthy mentally as well, because I'm constantly helping other people. And I also have connection because I'm servicing, right? And that ticks a lot of boxes for me from a fulfillment point of view, just through one means. And the more you can tick more boxes with fewer things, the more you can really start to integrate all elements of your life together. And that's just something for you to think about moving forwards. Of course, there's other ways to do it. If you built a business that wasn't sustainable with your lifestyle, you could then delegate, get someone else to take over. But again, know what game you're entering before you start that journey. So at least that way you've got a compass and a North Star in regards to what steps to take next. So go write down your values, really figure out what's important to you, and keep that in mind before you just go and latch onto something, latch onto a mentor and say, they have all the answers. Really ask yourself, is this the path that aligns with how I truly want to live my life and what my values are? And if it doesn't, is this something that maybe could work in the short term that I can eventually delegate so I can then get the life that I want? How would that look? Is that worth it to me? A couple questions to ask. Hope that helps. I'll see you in the next one. Also, if you want more mindset tips and things like that, I've got a free email newsletter. Check the link in the description below. Go ahead, register. Again, I'll see you in the next video.